Hi, Dean Kobayashi here for the NS Stick channel. And in this episode, I wanted to just go over some things that I wish that somebody had gone over with me as a beginning NS stick player. So these are 11 things, topics, suggestions, all these things, just 11 of them for a beginning NS stick player. Now this is assuming you have an NS stick or you're just about to get yours. Maybe you ordered it from Stick Enterprises and you have it, you've got your strap and you've got your cable. And then what? What's going to happen next, or what do you want to do? And I just wanted to go over a few of those items. So the first thing I think is don't get gas. And of course by gas I mean gear acquisition syndrome. We all have a tendency when there's all this new stuff around that we want to just go online and look at it and buy everything, and we just get so overwhelmed with all that. And the first thing is don't get overwhelmed by that. There's a lot of stuff out there, and we have ideas and what we want to do, but ultimately all the gear in the world is not going to make you a better player. And so you want to make sure that you really concentrate on practicing and playing. But with that said, you do need gear. This instrument, you can't really play along with anybody without amplification, those types of things. And so there are a few items that you're going to want to be able to do that. And also you're going to start thinking about your tone, how you want to sound. Do you want to sound like a very pure stick sound, just coming right off the fretboard here? Or are you looking for more of a rock and roll, screaming guitar tone? Maybe your bass tone, you want to model it after somebody. Maybe you have all that in mind. But I would, in the very beginning, just kind of hold off on some of that. But make a list. I have a list on my computer. It's also on my iPhone, so it syncs up, so those notes always kind of go back and forth. But I would add something and I would take things off, and it just kind of keeps my mind active on what things actually make sense and what's going to fit, especially in my budget, and what my ultimate goal is going to be. So keeping all those things in mind, you want to make purchases smart, make smart purchases along the way, and you're just going to be less frustrated at the end of the day. So anyway, first things first, don't get gas. So the second item, even though we just talked about not getting gas, is you're going to have to get something to hear yourself. Sure, you can hear a little bit off here, but really suggest being able to hear yourself. If you don't know which route you're going to take, or what you have a very limited budget, I suggest something like the Pocket Rocket. I know it sounds funny. This is a very old one. I've had this one for I think like 20 years, over 20 years now, and it's the base model. There's newer versions of this. I think they're under $50. You can find them online at your local major retailer, music retailer. There's other things in the market also, so look for something like this. These are great, especially if you're going to go to a seminar or something and they want you to have headphones so that you're not playing over everybody else in the room, unless that's the kind of lessons that they're having. Also great for just or you're at the seminar and you're in your room, maybe it's a long-term seminar and it's multiple nights, just want to go back to your room and listen to yourself. This is a great thing to have. And so get a good pair of headphones and then use this. When I first got my NS, what I did get was a suggestion from Don Schiff, which was the Pod X3 Live. It's made by Line 6, and that's the floorboard pod. They don't make them anymore. You can now get them for less than $200 on eBay. But it has some great sounds. It's got bass cabinets and bass amps on it, as well as all the guitar models. Sounds great. I really liked it. I did sell mine, and I kind of wish I didn't right now, and um, I kind of go back and forth on that, but it's a great thing because it's got two inputs on it. You can route the two different ones into different sounds for each side, or you can route them all together, whatever, and then it'll bring back your tones. It's got all the different stomp box models, compressors, echoes, you know, um, delays and reverbs and all that kind of stuff to really come up with a comprehensive sound. And really, really recommend that model. The later ones, I don't know. I've never actually used them. I've heard a lot of great things about it, but I think it was lacking on the bass end of things. And so the X3 was kind of like the last one that had the great um, bass models, and it does. And it really does sound great. And Don Schiff has been using it for a long time, and I'm glad I went with that in the beginning. So again, Pocket Rocket type of thing for about $50, or go with the something like that for less than $200. Or if you have the budget, go for the full out amp thing. But again, it's cumbersome. You're kind of stuck with the tones on that, and so just think about it. Think about what you want to do. I ended up getting a PA speaker after that, and I also play through my my recording studio monitors, so it sounds pretty nice through that for my home. The PA is great just to kind of get a real world sound, so it's just line level right out of the my pedal board right into that. So anyway, so you got to be able to hear yourself. The next thing is have the right tools. Have your hex wrenches to make your truss adjustment, your nut and bridge adjustments. Have a screwdriver, any kind of tools that you need to make sure you can adjust your NS stick on any occasion. There's a little screw that holds the pickups in place. One time that popped out on me. I don't know how it got loose or whatever, but I needed to make that adjustment. Even on the back of, there's batteries that go in here, and you're gonna have to change them eventually. So make sure you have the right screwdriver for that as well. So one of the things that I really wish I did when I first got my NS stick was get a strap lock. Obviously you can't really put one here, and this has really never been an issue. The strap stays in nice and tight, and it's really hard to get off on here. But the other end here, I have the one model that has the button on the end, and it comes in and out like that, and it locks in place, and that's not going anywhere. And I really wish I had that when I first started, because I was one time doing a photo shoot and wanted to strap this on my back, so they're doing like from a behind kind of shot, and the strap came off. I was in a dirt area, so I wasn't worried about falling, but you just never know. And what happened with me was, I didn't know this, but right behind me was a brick, just a regular brick, just sitting right there, right where my NS hit, and I lost a good chunk right here on here. So I try to practice calmness and keep perspective on it. It's just an object. It didn't mess up my whole stick. If it did break it, it's not the end of the world, but it does feel kind of bad that it did happen. And plus, you don't want that happening in the middle of a show, or you're even at home and it pops out and it might hit you in the face or something like that. It's never happened to me, and I've never actually heard about it from anybody else of it actually falling out, but it's just one of those things. Peace of mind, know that it's secure, and just not have to worry about it. So one of the excuses I had for not buying the strap lock is it comes in a pack of 2 and it costs $20, and I was like, I don't want to spend $20 for when I'm only going to use half of it. And it's just kind of small pieces of metal, and I can't believe it cost that much, and none, and on and on. But it could have saved me just that little bit of heartache that I have from dropping it that one time. So just don't let it happen to you. Get the strap lock. So one of the things also to know, and I think guitarists should do this as well, and I'm pretty sure most people do, is when you have your strap and your cable, is to route it correctly. You can plug it directly into the bottom here, but I highly suggest routing it through here and then into the bottom. What does that do? And do this every time so that you don't do what happened to me, which is you step on the cable and then the cable comes out just a little bit, except for the tip, and then it breaks the tip off. Or you're playing in the middle of a show and of course it comes out, and then you lose your sound and it makes a big pop and all that kind of stuff. But actually I broke the tip of a cable, of a perfectly good and wonderful cable I had, and now I can't use it because the tip is broken. And these cables, the nice ones, aren't that cheap, but save yourself, route your cable through the strap and then plug it in. Do that every time. Don't be lazy, just do it every time. Don't be like me and break your cable. Alright, the next thing is always unplug your stick or your NS stick when you're done using it. Always. The reason for that is it's got active electronics and powered by, there's two 9-volt batteries in the back, but it's always on if you leave your cable plugged in. So always unplug after you're done using so that you don't drain your battery. I've heard this several times, and I've done it myself. I've always had basses with the active electronics, and if you leave it plugged in, it's going to be dead, very quickly. So it's just one of those things you got to do to make sure you can just keep playing with your instrument. I've actually never killed a battery when I do unplug it all the time, but one of the things I do is change the battery with a string change, or at least once a year or so, but they last a long time. But I just do it those times just for peace of mind and not have to worry about it down the line. So one simple item that will really kind of make your life a little easier and keep you playing is get a guitar stand. I've got one of these. This is your regular tube stand that you can get. I got this at Guitar Center. It's their cheapest one. I think it's $9.99. It's not even $10. And I think I did just widen this part a bit. You just get your hands in there and you can just pull it apart a little bit. And it fit just fine with the bottom here. So get one of these. And I actually take this with me to gigs so that I have a place to put my NS stick when I'm not playing. When I put it up on stage, and I can just put it there while I get ready, and then have a place to put it down right before or right after. Just a great thing to have, so you don't lean it up against your amp or just the wall and it falls. There's just so many nightmare stories that you hear about that. So spend the $10, get a stand. All right, my next thing is to get spares of things. Now you might not go out and get all these right away, but put it on your list of items that you want to get. Have a spare set of strings. I've never broken a string, so I rarely hear about anybody breaking a string, but it's always in my mind that what if I did break a string and I don't have a string to replace it? Maybe I'm just about to go on stage or something. It's just, just a peace of mind. Spare set of strings, a spare cable. Like I said, I've broken mine. You can get a real cheap insert cable from Guitar Center or wherever. Um, just go and ask for an insert cable, get one that's long enough for you, but just as a spare, just in case something happens, a cheap cable to have there is could just save your life. So get a cheap spare cable. Um, Batteries, like I said, this operates on two 9-volt batteries. Just have them. Like I said, I've never actually drained out a battery. It's never run out on me in the middle of a set or anything like that. But you just never know. So just have it. It's just a peace of mind. And then also maybe get a cheap strap to have on the side as well. One thing that I find on here, and again, I've never actually gone all the way through, but this hook right here can eat through the leather or plastic that is right here. So just have one extra one just in case that you're playing and getting so close. I've gotten pretty close before, and so I've changed the strap before things happen. But I've always had a spare in my bag. And honestly, these spares and tools and things, like I don't think I've actually ever used it myself, maybe for a truss adjustment, but I find that I'm helping other musicians before I ever have to use them, and they'll thank you for it. And so having these spares will just give you peace of mind. You'll probably never use it on an emergency basis, but you can save the show sometimes. You might just save the day, maybe not for yourself, maybe for somebody else. Great stuff to have, so have some spares. My next thing is get on stickus.com if you're not already. It's the forum where all kinds of stickus from all over the world are looking at people's posts and suggestions and conversations. They all happen there. The post is very positive. Everybody's very supportive. I've been on other forums where people are just bashing each other, but this doesn't happen on this one. It might. There's some heated discussions that can happen, but the general feel of the whole thing is support and just great suggestions, and it's very active as well. So people are always posting answers to any questions that you might post, and you can do searches and find probably the answer to your question somewhere along the line in the search, and someone's probably already actually asked that question before. So check it out, stickus.com, and get on there once a week or in your spare time. I think you'll really enjoy it. One of the things is get a lesson. Go out and find an NS stick player. If there isn't one near you, there's Skype lessons. I know Don gives them. I don't know who. I think Gary Jabilian is doing them. But look them up and get a lesson. At a minimum, I suggest going to a seminar once a year. That's my rule, is that I go to one of these. I've been to Freehands Academy in LA, been to there twice, and then one time I've been to Vancouver this last year, and both were amazing. So if there's one close to you, great. If not, make a trip out of it. Go to LA, Vancouver, Interlaken. There's other ones that happen in the Northeast. One of these stick seminars, even though you might be the only NS player there, there's so much you can learn from it. Just from proper tapping technique, the different just way to get your energy into into your tap, and keep yourself from injuring yourself. Having someone look at you and talk about how you're holding your stick, how just discussing this, and also immersing yourself with that group is just an amazing thing, and you can't go wrong with any of these seminars. So look them up. Stickus.com is where you'll find most of them. Also on stick.com, on the Stick Enterprises website. So get lessons or go to a seminar, and it will just keep you motivated and keep you educated, and just keep making you a better player. So last but not least, I totally want to just put out there that you want to be patient. Be patient on your how fast you'll pick up the instrument, how quickly you'll be able to play a song maybe that you want to play, writing songs, all these things. It just takes time, and I don't think anybody can just pick up the instrument and just suddenly be amazing at it. I've been playing for 3 years, 3.5 years, I think now, just over 3 years actually, and I get frustrated. I'm like, geez, I've been playing this for 3 years and I can't even play this chord, and it just comes with time, and I just got to remind myself that new things always take time to learn, and so be patient, and then reflect back once in a while and be like, you know what, that's where I was and now I'm here and I've made progress, and that should make you happy. And look ahead, think about where you want to be, what kind of music you want to play, your goals maybe as to play maybe an open mic. Maybe you're just okay playing in your room, but you want to be able to play 10 songs in the next few months, or in the next year, 10 songs, and you can plot that out for yourself. But having those goals are going to help you out. But be patient and know that it takes time to really get a grasp of things. But I know that when you do take the time and you learn it, and then when you look back, you're going to be very happy and be proud of yourself that you've actually come this far. So those are the 11 things that I wish somebody had told me before starting, or when I was just a beginner. But 11 things. I know there's a whole bunch more out there that you can probably think of. So if you have any suggestions, please do leave comments below. If there's something that I'm totally off base on, let me know. Let's start a discussion. Just write them down below. Any questions also, leave them below. Please subscribe to the channel, and I hope this information helped you out. Have a great day, and see you again soon.